But thank you for that. Now we'll start talking about Pinot Noir. Has everyone here had Pinot Noir at some time or other in their lives? Okay, so this is not a foreign grape. All right. Has anyone ever had one from Germany? Anybody ever had one from Chile? Okay. Anybody ever had one from France? Well, we have three of them. We have three of them today. One from each of those countries. Just a couple of words in general about Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir it's called the heartbreak grape by some. It is the most finicky grape to grow. It is the most finicky grape wine to make. Very difficult to grow because it has very, well, let me compare it to Chardonnay. Chardonnay will grow anywhere. You want to put it in your backyard, it'll grow. You want to plant it almost in the Antarctic, it'll grow. You want to plant it on the equator, it'll grow. Pinot Noir is not quite like that. Pinot Noir likes real cool climates. They like long growing seasons. They like a little limestone in their soil. So it doesn't grow very well. It doesn't do very well in very hot climates. The movie Sideways went a long way to introducing people to Pinot Noir, and I was a little concerned about the popularity that grew from that, because I understand that Pinot Noir sales in the U.S. grew 300% because of that movie. And I understand that Merlot went down about 200%. But my concern was that people would now start saying, oh, give me Pinot Noir, give me Pinot Noir, give me Pinot Noir, without knowing what the producers they were actually buying it from, and they were going to be disappointed. Because it is a very difficult wine to make. When it's right, and when it's made correctly, and when it's in the best vintage, there is no wine in the world that's any better than a Pinot Noir based wine. None whatsoever. And especially those coming from the Burgundy region in France, which is the home base of Pinot Noir. That's where it originated. And it grows nowhere else like it grows there. And no other wine in the world tastes like red Burgundies. They're just unbelievable wines. A couple of areas that we don't have here today, and we may in the following week, weeks to come, because I understand that the next class is also going to be Pinot Noir from 3 different areas. If you look at Oregon, and here in the U.S., they may make the best Pinot. If you take a look at where they are geographically, they're on the same latitude as Burgundy. So it's not a surprise that they would be well suited for growing Pinot Noir. In the southern hemisphere, in New Zealand, there's an area called Central Otago, which is down towards the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. And they are making some absolutely wonderful, wonderful Pinot Noirs, and they've got several of them here in the store that are just marvelous. The Yarra Valley in Victoria in South Australia is another area, cool climate region, that makes some absolutely phenomenal Pinot Noirs, but they're different. These 3 Pinot Noirs you're going to taste tonight, I think you're going to be very surprised at how different they are, but how they all have a common flavor thread through them, but how different they are based on where they come from. So, without further ado, we will look at the first wine. The first wine is from a producer called Oberbergen. It's a 2007 vintage. It's from the Baden region in Germany. In Germany, Pinot Noir is called Spätburgunder. Usually, if the wine is here in the U.S., up until the last few years, it would have been labeled Spätburgunder. This wine is labeled Pinot Noir, and they're doing a lot more of that. The Europeans are doing a lot more of that for the American market. We talked about that in previous classes, where mostly in Europe, most of the wines are labeled after or named after the regions in which they're produced, not by the grape variety. So many times you'll pick up a French wine and you want any idea what's in the bottle, you just have to know. Whereas here in the US and in Australia and in most of the New World countries, they name the wines after the grapes that they're made from. So, but now a lot of the French and the Italians too are putting the grape varieties on the labels, again to help us and to market their products. But the Baden region in Germany is in the southwest corner. It's right at literally the southwest part of it is right across the river, right across the Rhine River from Alsace in France. And those of you who know Alsace, I mean Alsace has gone back from French to German in many lifetimes. So it's a little warmer in Baden than it is in most of the rest of Germany, because Germany is really very cool, well suited to grow Riesling, not particularly well suited in the other regions to grow really good Pinot Noir, because Pinot Noir, it needs to ripen, and if it's too cool, the grapes just don't ripen. Again, the most important sheet in your handout is actually the systematic approach to wine tasting. We use that whenever we evaluate a wine, and we ask that if you're really interested in learning about wine, just do what we do here. Go through about 30 seconds and think about the wine that you're tasting. You need to look at it. You need to smell it and try to understand what flavors you're getting, and then you need to taste it and think about what you're tasting. Think about what it's doing inside your mouth. And we'll go through that process for every one of these. So first off, let's take a look at the wine, and the best way to do that is hold it against a white background. Now there isn't a whole lot of light in here, but you do get enough, and you want to be able to make sure that it's nice and clear. In some cases it's opaque, but what you don't want it to be cloudy or murky, because if it is, that may tell you that the wine has been subjected to some heat or been mistreated in some other way.
Is this just for Pinot Noir? Or you
No, everyone. What we're going to do from here on out, you do for every wine that you taste,
okay.
Whether it's sparkling, white, red,
Cabernet, it has
everything,
to be
everything,
clear.
everything. Yes. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to evaluate the wine. When you finish tasting that wine, what you want to be able to ask yourself is this wine what it's supposed to be? Okay, now, all of you have had Pinot Noirs in here, so you have a little bit, if you paid attention.
I don't know where she said she was on her way.
I think it's from the glass. There's like little stuff. Same as us.
If there's anything floating, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt you. There could be some sediment in the bottom of some of these bottles. There could be some sediment in there that may have been dislodged as we poured it. Don't worry. Don't pay any attention. You don't need to worry about it. It's not going to hurt you.
It's clear. It's not like soda.
Yeah, that's right. Well, is it white?
Yeah, it's clear.
I was thinking
Okay.
maybe it's under observations. It says legs, bubbles.
No.
I was like, bubbles.
No. If it's white or clear,
I'm gonna walk around and take a look at what
it could be tart. It could be tartrates.
No, I think it's dust.
That's right, that won't hurt either.
We have little pixies in the back of the store, and it could be pixie dust.
I think it's from the ceiling.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we know it's a...
It's all good.
Whose is this one I just took?
It's mine.
Oh, it is, it's perfectly clear.
Yeah, because I don't see it. I don't see any of it
The one
here.
I have there is clear too.
Yeah.
This one's mine.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to worry about.
Who else has something that has,
Well, you look. I thought I saw something as you swirl it. You
See, it's
swirl
good.
it sticking to the lid.
It does get to be
That's
contagious because it's so.
What?
Legs.
No,
Viscosity.
no. there's
oh,
some-
no, look here, let me show you what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I get it now in this glass. Watch. On the side, look over here, you wind up with some, like,
Something.
a little fizz or something.
Oh, okay.
As long as they're not drinking water.
Okay.
It's not a problem. Yeah, it's the same thing I, yeah.
With a little spritz?
little spritz on the side of
Okay.
the glass.
It could be when they bottled it, it could have been there could have been some carbon dioxide left over from the
Not
fermentation.
problem in any.
What's the word?
Don't worry about it, yeah, yeah.
But, see now, when you're